Hi guys, in this week's video I randomly get a lift in an American 1944 World War II Jeep.
I'll stop here, yeah?
Yeah, go on then, pop it out there. I'll drive it. And now the weather's getting better, finally get into the garden to sort the grass out. We also go behind the scenes at the studio for my other channel and watch a studio build from one of my other videos. I've now managed to record audio of my flying lessons, so for the first time ever you can actually hear Jeremy, my flying instructor, speak.
Are you aiming for the numbers now? Yeah.
Plus, I've decided to build a pergola over the top of the patio at the end of the garden, somewhere for Big G to go and chill out of the sun on those hot days, and I want to do some steam bending to make some special bits of wood to go on top of there as well. But before we do that, it's off to the local swimming pool to follow Emily as she swims 5 kilometres raising money for cancer research. Emily Bumhead has got a bit of history with swimming. She is effectively half fish and used to go to swimming club every Saturday morning at about 6 o'clock in the morning, which she tells me she used to love doing, and do things like pick the brick up from the bottom of the pool in your pyjamas and all that sort of stuff when you were a young kid. And she thought it would be a great idea to get involved with the Mary Curie Swimathon and swim 5 kilometres and raise a load of money. She's not happy about the fact that I'm filming her at the moment.
So
how long do you think it's going to take you to do it?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. I got no idea that she was listening to Prodigy's album Fat of the Land on her waterproof swimming headphones.
How's it going, Em? You alright?
And with that, she was off. I know it's pretty hard to visualise what 5 kilometres might look like if you're in a swimming pool, but here is a few little things to give you a hand. She has to swim 200 lengths of this swimming pool. That's 3.1 miles, or 32,808 pint glasses laid on each other, or 6,561.68 Big G cats stretched out an average of 2.5 feet, which is what Big G was measured at when I stretched him out on his big rug when he was high on catnip, or even more profoundly, 98,425 of the average chipstick laid end on end.
How many have you got left?
168.
168, okay, keep going.
In all honesty, I have no idea how someone can swim even 1 or 2 lengths. I am a dreadful swimmer. I could get myself out of trouble, but believe me, swimming this sort of distance is absolutely out of my league. Anyway, we'll join Emily later on in the video to see how she got on and see what time she clocked in her swimathon. Come on, oi, George, come on, we're going out, let's go outside. Come on, let's go and do stuff. Right then, so there's big stuff going on. I always do this every year about this time, and it comes from my days of being a cricket club groundsman. So I did the ground at my cricket club for about 6 years. I loved every minute of it. But it also got us a chance to teach myself how to get grass to grow nice, how to control moss. So today I've got to get the scarifier out, and we've got to scarify this moss out. I seriously cannot think of a more dull subject for a vlog. Right, so this is a scarifier. Okay, so as you can see, it's just got these really thick old tines on them that basically plough up and pull out all the moss. That is really mossy stuff. So we're going to get rid of it. Look guys, I'm not going to beat on about this for too long because let's face it, all I'm doing is scarifying the garden. But you want to scarify it long ways, then go across yourself, then go one way diagonal, then go the other way diagonal. Get as much of that annoying moss out as physically possible. Seed over the top of that and then top dress it as well. Then you can water it and then wait a couple of weeks time for your lovely grass to come up. Now I've got to get this watered. Big G's out here, he does not like the process of watering. There's a couple of times where I was a bit weak and sprayed the poor G, but there we go, it's life, innit? It's times like this that I really do actually love going out into the garden, like early in the morning or the last point of the day when all the birds are singing and stuff like that, and just going out there and watering the grass. It's also a nice time for reflection and things like that. But it is also a point at which I start to wonder whether I am actually turning into my dad and whether I am getting old before my time. I mean, what am I, 35, 36? I can't even remember. Maybe that in itself is a sign that I'm getting a bit old and probably have had too many beers. But anyway, if I do this once in the morning and once at night for the next week, unless of course the rain god comes along and gives me a hand, then in about 2 weeks' time you should be able to see some nice fresh growth coming up. And trust me, we'll pop back later in the video to see the results. Yes, I'm just as excited as you are. On to the next section. I've been wanting to build a pergola for quite a while in the sort of alcovey bit that is the patio at my shed. I measured and sketched out a rough idea that you can see here. The main thing was that I wanted to have the option to sit in the shade if I wanted to, but also to drag the chairs forward so I was sat in the sun as well should I choose to be. But I didn't want the supporting pillar to be right in the middle of the patio, so I decided to have the pillar on the edge and a main double spine spanning all that way into the internal corner. This is when I got the idea to have 2 bits of steamed wood to bend round into position as something to be a bit special and a bit different. The whole idea is that wood is sort of suspended on these little rails. Now what I'm going to do is brace this sort of strip along here, and then I'm going to try and get the bend that I want within this sort of distance about here. This isn't easy to do at all. I did a test piece yesterday and it worked okay, but that was on a bit of 2x2. Well look, just watch and I'll do a little bit of a voiceover. So the idea is that we put a plastic sheet around the area that we want to steam and bend. I got this idea by watching some shipyard guy on YouTube, and this was the idea he came up with. The thing I was trying to think about was how was I going to introduce steam all the way down the bit of wood. So we've got our steam coming in at one end. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tie the steam around this, and then I'm just going to drill a few holes all the way down, so then we know that we can get like an even steaming. Now guys, I can be totally honest with you, I've never done this in my life. So, I just don't know how this is going to work. Sorry about the sound here, guys. I wasn't using my usual on-camera mic. Anyway, the idea is that we use this little heat distributor, we lay that over the top of the piece of wood that we want to steam. Then I can use the domestic wallpaper steamer at one end and then use this bit of pipe with all the holes in it to distribute evenly steam along the bit that I want to bend. As you can see now, I've got my steamer on. If we go up this end, you can see that our steamer is here bubbling away. All the way along there we can see we've just got like loads and loads of steam. The next part of the job was to tie bottles to the top of the bit of wood to prevent the plastic from sort of sitting on the wood and stopping an even distribution of steam. Then I'd have to seal up all my gaps, making sure that I could keep as much of the steam and the heat inside my kind of plastic sock as possible. Now what I'm going to do is turn the steamer on. I don't know, I've never done it before, so let's just turn it on and see what happens. I want to see if it works first. Should get steam all the way down to here really. I mean, it's actually inflating it a little bit. It's like, it's all the plastic's not like flopping. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set a timer on my phone for 2 hours. I added some bubble wrap insulation over the top to try and keep some heat in, and then set about actually building the little radius that I'll be bending the wood around. The whole time I was doing this, I was actually steaming the piece of wood. As you can see, there's condensation inside, and every time I touched it, guys, it really, really was hot. So if you're going to do this yourself, make sure you wear gloves or something, because it's very easy to scald yourself doing it. Right, so I've been steaming this now for about an hour, and I think I maybe just be able to just sort of bring that piece over a bit now. So I'm going to do my very, very first little bit of bending. Let's see how it goes. Seriously, look how floppy the wood has gone.
It's part of the crew did not know there was marijuana in the can.
That's how I'm actually creating my radius. I'm just packing the outer edge and nipping that inner edge there. And as we look down this straight bit here, that is the bend we've got there at the moment. If I can get that bit of wood like right out over there, that is absolutely quality. By the way, I'm listening to From Our Own Correspondent podcast. It's very good. Check it out. So it all looked like it was going to go really well. We'll pop back in a few minutes' time to see how the bending went. It's another day of brilliance, Dane. Dane, how good is it?
It's amazing.
Yes, Lord!
It's beautiful. Yes,
So it was a bright, lovely, sunny Sunday afternoon, and me, Dane, Bumhead and Cicely popped down to the local pub for a quick beer. This lovely man turns up on this absolute beast, just check that out. And I just went over and was like, mate, I've got my camera with me, do you mind if we just go for a quick ride around the village in your absolutely quality Jeep?
Does it actually have seatbelts?
No seatbelt.
What, just put on here?
Well, there's a strap
Oh,
there.
don't worry about
There's a
that.
strap that goes across there. That'll keep you falling sideways, but won't stop you from going over them.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? Fucking hell! Woohoo!
Sorry about the sound here, guys. There was a lot of wind, and I think my mic was actually turned up. Oops.
So we're hooning around at the moment in a. Wait, how old's this Jeep?
1945.
This is a 1945 Wiley's Jeep, is it?
Willie's Jeep.
Willie's Jeep. Sorry. Yeah, and it's a lovely day. I mean, look at it. Watch out, guys.
Careful to see the 1940 brakes.
Yeah, don't break very well.
They're all just.
God, I can't. You've got. That's the same as what you get the Cessna.
That's the ammeter.
Yeah, ammeter. Yeah.
That's the temperature.
Yeah.
That's your oil pressure. That's the fuel.
We had a few minutes chatting about the systems on the car and the usual sort of blokey stuff that you talk about when you're in a 1945 Jeep, and it became apparent that he'd put so much money into this vehicle to get it up and running and keep it working. And Jeeps themselves are one of the success stories of World War II, along with the T-34. Sound like Alan Partridge now. Every time I do a voiceover, I think of my mate Dane taking the mickey out of me.
Well, it's not something you do every day when you're down the pub. Quickly pop down and have a look at one of these things. Oh, yeah, it's all under control.
Oh, hitch just come up quick, hasn't it?
Guys, this is such a random thing to be doing on a Sunday, and it was wicked fun. Before I knew it was all over, and we were going back to the pub for a quick pint.
How many now? How many?
20 to go.
20 to go, so you've done 180 lengths. Are you tired? Are you starting to get knackered?
Smack the bitch up.
Oh, right.
Needless to say, all of Emily's hard work paid off, and she raised a whopping £1,265 for Mary Curie Cancer Research. Absolutely fantastic. And if you want to know how long she actually swam the 200 lengths in, she did it in 1:59:33. 5k. And look at you, you look fine. Well done, my darling mum brain. We're all really, really proud of you. Before we draw this vlog to a close, you're going to notice in the background here that I've already started the pergola, but look at that grass, guys. This is about 3 weeks after I seeded it earlier on in the video. Just look how beautiful it is now, how green and lush it is as well. But don't worry guys, I haven't forgotten the wood bending yet, so let's pop back to the studio and see how it's going. So after about 2 hours of bending a little bit, moving my buffer, and then bending a bit more, and then moving my buffer, and then bending a bit more, I finally got round to a point where I could actually start bending it using a ratchet strap. All was going well. Until... Man, it broke. Oh, fuck. Guys, I took it too far. I need like green wood for this. I mean, that's taken like 2 hours, something like that, 3 hours to get to that. Ah, damn it. So look, here's where it's broken. So guys, it was an abject failure, but there we go. Guys, there. Also I need to come clean with you here because I thought I'd be able to get quite a lot in this vlog, and I'm just getting the feeling that perhaps we should break it up into 2. So next week we'll have the flying, next week we'll carry on building all the pergola and stuff like that, and there's loads more stuff coming up as well. For instance, I've just come back from Bratislava where we did 2 or 3 great films that I'll be putting up on Times of James soon. So we'll be back next week, and if you haven't done already, please click that subscribe button, please click the like and comment below. Speak to you soon, guys. Have a great week. Peace. 45 years old?
Yeah, it's from 1974.
That's wicked. That is so cool.
So guys, you're from England? How many years?